Hi, everyone. Welcome to my catch-up crop tonight. This is the February edition, and I'm so thrilled for everyone to be joining, and I'm really looking forward to the sketches that we're going to be working on. If you haven't seen them yet, I posted the link in the video description and also created a special post for it. They are the sketches from the February 2024 virtual crop, so you can find them that way as well. Before we get too started, I wanted to talk a little bit about a couple of the things that we're going to be doing this evening. And sorry, I can tell that I'm looking all over the place. I'm having some technical challenges, just making sure that I'm looking at you and at the screen at the same time. There we go. That's better. Thank you for that. I got a box today, so I thought I would do a quick little box opening, show you the new Spring Soiree. If you've been following, that collection has been really popular, and they made some changes, but much of it is still available. And they did change the book cloth cover color slightly. And they took one of the punches out of the bundle, but you can still get the bundle at the 10% off. So let's take a quick look at that. So bear with me for just a second. I'm going to switch my camera. Oops. There we go. All right. So, Spring Soiree. Like I said, I just got it this afternoon, so I haven't had the chance to try out any of the punches, but there's this really cute little watering cans, border maker cartridge, and then the floral ribbon punch. This is super hot. As I say this, it may already have been run out. But the great news is that there are 4 punches that you can choose from that are 50% off right now, kind of as a peace offering, if you will. And some of those are really great deals. So I would absolutely take advantage of that. It came with a card trio kit, so I'm looking forward to making those for my card class next week. So it's a collection that includes designer papers. And this is spring, right? So it's perfect for your spring gardening. It's perfect for Mother's Day. It's perfect for any feminine celebration, birthdays, girls' time, brunch, that kind of thing. Really pretty. And then there's matte packs that go along with that. And if I haven't mentioned it before, the matte packs now are only 4.5 by 6.5. And there's 12 instead of 24 in a pack. So the price point went down a little bit. And they're also, they have a Ziploc zipper top on the bag, which is awesome. Really beautiful stickers. So a 3 sheet sticker pack that includes your typical icons, phrases, and words, and then border strips. Talking about border strips, could these not be any more gorgeous? These are layered laser borders, and they're stunning. They are absolutely beautiful. They have such great dimension. Greens, purples, the blues, the pretty beautiful little daisies there. I love purple and green, so this is perfect for me. And by the way, there's 2 of each in here, so there's a matching set of each of those 8 borders. 8 borders. So there's 16 pieces in here. And my new favorite thing, this project playbook. So with this project playbook, there are, let's see, 1, 2, 3. There's 3 2-page spreads and a card. So this will be really fun. I'll be doing one of my leftovers to layouts with this collection for sure. And then this beautiful album. I love purple albums. I hope the color on my camera does it justice, but it may not. So that is a quick peek at Springtime Soiree. I'm just going to go back to my regular camera here for a little bit and say hi. I am, as usual, running on about a 20-second delay. So if you're making a comment um, in the comments on the feed, please be patient so that I just have a chance to get to you on that. And if you're joining me, please just pop in a hello and your note. And this is just a hello telling me, where you're watching from and what you're working on. So the sketches that I'm going to be working on tonight, there's 2 one-page sketches and 2 two-page sketches. I am going to be doing exactly that. I'm not going to be making any of those one-pagers into two-pagers this evening. It worked out just great for my photos. I had a hard time getting enough photos. Oddly, there wasn't a whole lot happening in my life in February that I took pictures of. There was literally hundreds of cat photos, as there is most months, but I didn't have a lot of other stuff going on. So we'll see how it goes. Hello, Rosemary, if you're still on. Hello and goodbye, Roxana. Yes, that was the spring collection, hot off the shipping line. I just got it today, so it's super, super pretty. All right. I also wanted to show you guys what I did. I'll be putting this in on my Facebook page in the files so that you can use it if you like. I'm going to switch to my desktop camera. I just created a little label for my ketchup crop pages in this bin because I'm not quite ready to put these in an album yet. So I just thought I would, in my project organization, I just printed this out on cardstock and taped it to my case. So I just thought I would show that, and I will I'll post this image in my files, and you can link to it and print it out for yours if you would like to do that. All right. Sketch number 1. Let's take a look and see what we've got here. So for sketch number 1, it's a 3 photo sketch, paper layering. It's got a pretty straightforward frame. So I think this will be kind of a quick and easy one. Shouldn't be too hard or take too long. I am using the Night Out collection. This was a promo pack last year. And it's called Night Out, but I'm using it for pictures from a day out. I had lunch and margaritas with a girlfriend, so I thought this would work out perfectly for that. So I've got the paper product, the paper collection, and I have some of the stickers, and I have the punch too if we need it. There was like a super cute little drinks cocktail punch. So that's where we're getting started on. This takes a 6 by 4 horizontal photo and then 2 3.5 by 3.5. Of course, if you have a vertical photo rather than horizontal, right, all you need to do is turn it one way or the other by 90 degrees. And now you can just accommodate your vertical photo there. But I happen to have everything in the right alignment. So I need to choose my base paper. I got to take a look and see what I have here. I have used this paper for some pages, so I don't have the full pack, but that is okay. This is going to be fun. Okay, so this has yellow, but this is a very busy paper. This is what I would call a statement paper, and that actually probably wouldn't look too bad as the background. This is the backside of that, which I also really like. And then there's this flowers, which is really pretty, and then the green that goes with it. And then I have another sheet of this. So I think the cocktails and the flowers, to my mind, clash a little bit. I probably wouldn't use both. I think those two look pretty good together. Um, so I think maybe I might do that and then use one or the other for the mat. And then I do have some other scraps in here. I actually might have a piece of this blue that's big enough. This sort of needs to be 5 by 7. Not quite, I don't think. It's 6.5 by 5.5. I might be able to make that work. All right, so I think I'll go ahead and use the flowers for my base. I don't know, what do you guys think? Yes, Roxana, you can use whatever you have. Absolutely. Yep, that's just the point to get you all to use up what you have on hand. Having a hard time deciding which one to put which. Let's see how my photos look on both of those. I think the photos are going to look better on the red than directly on the flowers. Yeah, so I'm going to do it that way. I am also going to cut a frame out of this because I probably will use the green for some mats, or at least I want to have that option. So the 3.5 by 10.5. I don't think so. I think it's 10.5 by 10.5. So I'm going to cut a 2-inch frame to make sure that I have enough. It looks like it needs to be probably, if it's 10.5, well, yeah, I'll just, to be on the safe side, I'm going to cut a 2-inch frame. So as a reminder, with this trimmer, you have great options for creating all sorts of things like a frame. So I'm just going to bring the blade housing down. I'm going to match this white line up with the 2-inch line on my trimmer. So that means I'm starting my cut 2 inches down. I also put this at the 2-inch line. Now you do not need to make a frame. You can absolutely just use a whole base page. I would like to use the backside of this paper, so I'm going to give myself just a little bit extra, keep my page a little bit lighter and a little bit thinner. And my last turn here. Bring that down just to the cut line. Which be good. All right, so I have a small piece here that I can use as a mat if I would like to do that. All right, and so that's going to be my base. I just realized, there we go. You're going to be able to see that a little bit better. Okay, and then this needs to be 10.5 by 10.5. So I'm gonna, let's see, I think for this, I would want, it's somewhat direction. I'm thinking if I wanted to use the backside down the road, what direction I would want that to go. I think probably horizontal. So I'm gonna take a 1.5-inch strip off of here. And then a 1.5-inch strip off. Turn it 90 degrees. And do another 1.5-inch strip. So I can save those for another project. All right, so that's how that's gonna go. Just want to double check. Yeah, no. I think that's gonna look great. I think that is gonna look great. And then we need a strip that is 3 by 12. And to be honest, I think I do one of two things. I could make a seam because I have a photo that'll cover up the seam, which I think is what I'm gonna do with this. I like this blue star. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut this down to 3 inches wide. I'm gonna cut this one 3 inches wide. Actually, how long is this? This is 6.5. Yeah, that's fine. And then I can just stack those like that. You won't be able to see the seam in the middle because there's a photo mat that's going to go over that. And this is the one I think I'll use. So this needs to be 5 by 7. All right, so I have all of my pieces. So I just need to build my page and trim my photos and get those adhered down. So let's get started. 2.5 by 2.5. No, this is 10.5 by 10.5, Roxana. 10.5. I know 10 and 2 sound an awful lot alike. If you printed out the sketch, there is an error. This says 3.5 by 10.5, which is incorrect. It's got to be 10.5 by 10.5 because it's a square. Actually, when I look at it, I realize what they probably did was did 2 3.5 by 10.5 pieces, and then that strip goes down the middle. So sorry for the confusion on that. It just seemed like it was an error to me, but you can do it either way. You could absolutely cut those strips, or you can do one whole piece that's going to be 3.5 by 3.5 or 10.5 by 10.5. Okay, so just getting my piece down so I can line this up properly. This is going to be so 10.5 by 10.5 means that it's 1.5 inches smaller than the base page, which means it's 3/4 of an inch all the way around. You can absolutely eyeball that, but you can also use your 13-inch mat to kind of line it up. So, and if you're really particular, you can get your 12-inch ruler out and put it at the 3/4 inch line. I'll straighten out my page to do that. I actually probably should do that. Oh, no, it's pretty good. It's pretty close. This corner needs to come down just a little bit. Also, a good reason to use repositional tape. I used regular tape when I did mine. There we go. That's a little bit straighter. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this strip down the middle. I am going to align this up in the middle. So at the 4.5 inches on this side and 8.5 on this side, so that 6 is right in the middle, because this is a 3-inch wide strip. So that means 1.5 inches on either side. Oh, the frame, Roxana, I did the frame 2 inches. 2 inches. And you don't have to do the frame. I did it because I like to conserve paper, and I kind of needed that backside for my mat. Okay. And it works great because it really brings out the green in the background and the green on this lime. I don't know if you guys can tell, well, you can see that, but it actually was a great choice. All right, so I'm just now going to adhere my photo to this one. Again, just kind of eyeballing it a little bit there. That should go there. I'm going to trim my photos down. I printed these at home, and so this one I printed already at 3.5 by 3.5. It's probably a little bit big. My printer tends to make it just a little bit bigger than what I tell it to, which is kind of nice. That way you can always make it smaller, but you can't make it bigger, right? There's that one. And then this photo, I'd love to get some of that cocktail in there. I don't know. It's hard to, having a hard choice. If I just want to put in, I could do that. I might crop it a little bit. I'm a little bit stuffed up, so sorry about that. Not sure what it is. I feel fine, but and I feel like I want to make these pages pop just a little bit more. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some bright white. Oh, maybe I'm going to take some bright white. And I'm going to make some really narrow mats for these. So that photo is 4 by 6. So I'm just going to make this mat. I'm just going to give it an 1/8 of an inch trim. And you could make yours as big as you want, but I'm just going to make that a really nice little narrow. I like that look. So that means there's a 1/16 of an inch all the way around. And then I'm going to cut these down to 3.5. I'll cut my photos down by 1/8 too. So for the 2 smaller ones, I'm keeping them the same size that the photo currently is, and I'm going to trim down the photo. So I'm cutting 2 3.5 by 3.5 inch mats. All right, and I'm going to just take 1/8 of an inch off this photo. So it's a 3.5. That's 7/8 and or 3 3/8. This photo down. Okay. So this is a really nice little technique to just give a little bit of pop to these photos. Just because it's such a, and it'll bring out the white of that background really nicely as well. So It's such a really fine line, but just enough to set it off nicely. Okay, I think that looks great. And then I'll do the same here. These photos, get those matted. I tend to like to mat my photos. I confess, I struggle a little bit when there's not a backing on my photos. Sometimes it works, but I'm just a matting kind of girl, which is another reason why I cut out that frame from the base piece, because that way you just keep your pages a little bit lighter. See, I just think that looks great. And this fine line mat, this 1/8 of an inch, I think looks best when you do it with black or white. Of course, you can do any color you choose, but I think those two colors really work best for that style of matting. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and adhere these on, and then we'll be able to move on to some embellishments. Let's see, so that's the center. I'm gonna bring this down about an inch or so, maybe 3/4 of an inch from the top. And I'll center these between the photo and the bottom. But I also want to split the middle. So if the middle's there, I'm going to split that. I want that to be equidistant. I think we want those like a little bit closer together, maybe something like that. And again, I'm just eyeballing it. You can put them on whatever looks best for your photos, and just whatever appeals to your eye. All right. So now the fun part, we get to do some embellishments. So the way that the sketch shows, it's got a cluster of embellishments with the title being in the middle. And I like that I like that triangle. So the 3 points of the triangle with the title being coming through here. So let's see what works. So I've got some cocktails and some little stars and flowers. I like those. And then there's some fun phrases. Why limit happy to an hour? I really like that one. That's appropriate for the friend that I went with. Girl squad. I think I'll probably sip hooray is also cute. But I think I'll probably use that one, and I'll grab a these. And I think I'll use some dimensionals on that. So I'm going to get my powder, no stickum powder, and just kind of put that down a little bit here, just to kind of make the stickers easier to work with when I put the foam squares on them. Got a new little organizer box for my foam squares, foam tape and foam squares. I also have my tape chips in here. So I'm trying this out, see how it works. So far, so good. It's nice to have everything kind of all together and it, within arm's reach. Sadly, the foam tape has been discontinued, so I'm using the last of what I have. But we still have the foam squares. So same effect, just a little bit different offering. Okay. So I'm gonna put this down here. Like that. And then some fun little embellishments on that. Okay. And then I've got some embellishments to do there and there. And then also I need to be mindful of doing a little bit of journaling. So let's see. Um, I also like this cheers. Close that with these. That color doesn't contrast enough with what I want there. So there's the dark green and the red, I think will blend in too much. The blue. Nice if there was yellow. Do I have the yellow one? No. I'll use this little one that's here. Sorry, can't decide what I want. I think I want oh, yellow. Okay. All right. And then another something here. They have a kind of girly things here, like little handbags and compacts and things like that. Wasn't really what this day was all about. So, I don't know that I love those icons on there. But I do. I'm having a hard time making a decision. Can you tell? Um, maybe. I'm gonna do this friends are. Yeah, maybe sisterhood with a fun little. So not a huge embellishment down here, but just something, a little something. So that was pretty quick, guys. We did that in about a half an hour. Tell me the size of the picture frame of the picture. Okay, Roxana, this picture is 4x6, and the my large green mat is 5x7. I did add this white mat to offset it, totally optional. And that one was 4 1/8 by 6 1/8. I will put the dimensions in here. Let's see, 4 by 6 photo, 5 by 7 large mat, and 4 and 1 8 by 6 and 1/8 white. And of course you can use any color you want, but that's what I have there. Okay. All right, so I am feeling pretty good about this page, and it went together really quickly. I'm trying to think other options. Of course, you know, depending on your photo orientation, you could have turned it either way, 90 degrees. You could also add a third picture down here. You could make these just a little bit closer together. You could, there's enough room down here for 3.5 by 3.5 if you were so inclined to do that. You could, I didn't journal, so I want to make sure that I've got a little spot here for journaling. I think I'm going to use my write-on journal strips, and I'm going to use the larger ones. The write-on strips come in, there's 2 sheets. One is a little bit narrower. I call them college and what was it? College ruled versus wide ruled. So I think I'll put this. You know what? I'm gonna make that bigger. I cut this down, but I didn't really shouldn't have. There's- Okay. And then, okay, so let's see. I don't know if you guys can hear the cat crying in the background, but there is one, and she's just fine. In case you were worried about that poor thing, she is just fine. All right, so I'm gonna journal with my blue pen. All right. I do all my journaling in pencil first because I don't trust my ability to not make a spelling mistake, or, you know, like I have spacing issues. So I like to write everything in pencil first just to make sure it fits and it looks right. And of course, not everyone has to do, but that's the way I do it. All right, that's great. I think it turned out pretty fun. All right, so page 1 done. I'm just going to take a quick moment to tidy up my space and get ready for sketch number 2. you have any questions, please drop them in the chat right now while I'm tidying up. I can keep an eye on them. Any comments? Um, February is such a short month. It's hard to believe that it has come and nearly gone already. And for those of us that are here in Tucson, it's been a warm February, so it doesn't quite feel like we had, like the nice sort of mild, cool side. And we've had no moisture, so it is super dry out there. I'm dreading the summer, if this is any indication of what it's gonna be like. All right, let's see, just tidy up here. Some of my water. All right, so this is going to be recorded, guys. So if you need to go back to the video, or if I'm working a little bit ahead of you, you are okay. You've got plenty of opportunities to catch up. All right, so sketch number 2 is another one-page sketch. This one has 4 photos. It's got a regular 4x6 vertical, and then 2 3.5 by 3.5 like we had before, and then there's another one that's 5.5 by 3.5 that goes horizontally. You could definitely swap these, or again turn your page to one side if you have direction photos that work better one direction or another. And again, we've got this, perfect triangle of embellishments with the title up over here. You could mix that up too. You could swap these out, swap these 2 photos, and just switch, move your triangle around a little bit. But that's what we've got here. I'm going to be doing photos from Valentine's Day, and I'm using the latest Valentine's Day collection, which is so fun. I love that it's got pink and black in it. So this collection is Happy Together. And it's got some super cute little embellishments. Got a 20 embellishment pack, which includes some enamel hearts in black, red, and pink. And then these embellishments are adorable. So we'll have fun with those. And the papers, this red has hearts on it. Let's see what else we've got. We've got this pretty black stripe. I like stripes. The backside of that is a red flowers with a pink background. And then there's this red kind of geometric pattern. I don't know if it's how easy it is to see. And the backside of that is really cute little pink flowers with black stems. And then this pink, there's some hearts in there and some little diamonds. And the backside of that is that heart. So I love them all. It's going to be hard to choose what papers to use. But the good news is that you could use up to 4 different patterns of paper here. 5 even if you wanted to mat. I think I would probably bring it together with the mat somehow. So there's a base, and then a strip, and then 2 smaller strips over on this side. just thinking about how I can incorporate the embellishments into that. There's these really cute boxes that are perfect for journaling. And this one is also great for a title. You could handwrite a title on that. So these are so fun. Hey, love, be mine. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? Look at that butterfly. I love that. And that flower. So fun. Forever and forever and forever. Okay, this is going to be really fun. I'm very excited about this one. All right, let's take a look at my photos and just kind of see how they look on the picture. So the way that I'm planning on doing this, I think, is that one there, that one down there, and then these two here. So I kind of think I want this red heart to be the base. This. Yeah. And then the strip down the middle, I think needs to contrast a little bit. Maybe the black stripe like that. And then I could probably use, it's on the back of this heart, the pink. Yeah, I think I'll do that. And then I kind of am saving some paper. So I think I can do this, guys, using just 2 pieces of paper, and I'll probably use just a piece of black cardstock to do some matting. All right. So I want to use the back side of this as one of these strips. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a 3/4 inch strip off of here. So this sketch, just as a reminder, this strip here, this wide strip is 3.5 by 12, and then the 2 narrower strips are 3/4 of an inch each. So did my trimmer, I put it away. Over here. So that means in doing this, I'm going to end up piecing my paper together a little bit because this is not going to be a full-size base. What I mean by that when I do it. So this needs to be 3.5. I always like my, oh, interesting. This is directional. I think this is directional. For the small strip that we are, it might be okay. I like my stripes in a situation like this to go horizontally rather than vertically. I just think it adds more interest to the page. It's my personal preference. And then I also need one of these to be 3/4 of an inch because that's going to be that other strip. The back side of this. Now, like I said, I felt like it was directional. I think it's okay. I think it's small enough, it's hard to tell that you're okay. So this is gonna go there like that. And this will go there. So these are 1.5. So this needs to go at 10.5. Okay, I rely heavily on my 13-inch mat for my measurements. So I'm going to put this on my page, or put my base page on my mat, make it nice and lined up. And then I'm going to go ahead and put this guy down here at 10.5. Um, and then go here. And this one, I'm going to do a little bit of a weld so that they line up in the back. You know, there's a few different ways to do a weld. I think I'll just grab a piece of that white cardstock that I had and do about a 1/2 inch strip to weld these pieces together. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my repositional tape runner and I'm going to just run a solid line of that all the way down the tape runner. Make sure that I get the ends really good. And then I'm just going to place this, get these pieces lined up where they're supposed to go. Nice and snug and nice and even on the top and the bottom. And then I'm just going to use this as kind of a band-aid. And lay that over the top of that seam where they meet. And that way they're nice and attached. And it looks like it does need just a little adjustment. But since I've used repositional tape, that is super easy to do. All right, so there I've created my base page. And you could make that simpler just by using a full-size base and you not have to do the seam, obviously. I did it just because I wanted to use that backside of that paper. Okay, and I mentioned this mat. I think I'm just gonna use I'm gonna use black. Yeah, I think I want to use black on that. So the mat is 4.5 by 6.5. Just gonna grab a piece of black cardstock. Hi, Samantha, Arizona. Great to see you. I'm glad you could join. I have, I'm on the second sketch, so I'm working on sketch number 2. This one right here. Okay, so I got that mat, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and trim down my photos. So I need 2 3.5 by 3.5s and one that's 5.5 by 3.5. So I printed this 5.5 by 3.5. I'm just gonna go ahead and trim the white edges off. And that's actually a little bit wider than 3.5. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that bit off of that, and same on this side, it's a little bit wider than, I'm gonna actually take it off the other side. Okay. again, I'm kind of debating about whether or not I want to mat the other photos because I am a photo. I do tend to like matting my photos. So. Okay. And then my last photo. And I think I am gonna do the same thing that I did on the last one, and I'm gonna cut some real narrow white mats for this one. So these are 3.5 by 3.5. So I want this to be 3 5/8, which I think, what is this? This is only 3.5. This one's a little bit bigger. Rose. How do you guys feel about mats? Do you most of the time, some of the time, none of the time? There's that. And then I think I'm gonna do the other one in black. Well, primarily because I don't have any scraps left of the white. But I also think it'll be nice to mix it up a little bit. Sometimes for you, I like it, says Roxanne. Yeah, thanks. It definitely adds weight to your page. So, and just time and cutting it and, using materials. So, it's not always, there's some cons to it as well. I think it tends to give things a nice finished look. But it's also a matter of personal preference and taste. And, it's a time issue too. You would be done with this page if I didn't have the mat and decided to make the mat. So, okay, I'm just kind of looking for the spacing on this. I think that's gonna go there like that. This will come over here. So something along those lines. Move that down a little bit. Like that. Yeah, I think that looks good. So I'll go ahead and adhere these down. You could absolutely make this a 2-pager. I often make single page sketches into 2-page sketches because most of the time I have photos to do that. But in this case, I didn't really. So if you wanted to make this a 2-page, You could do a couple of different things. You've scrapped with me before. You've heard me talking about the mirroring technique, or, stretching um, the page from, left to right um, as you are working. So with this one, I like, this look here. You could do mirror that so that you've got, this strip on this side, this strip on this side, and so on and so forth. So you kind of create this middle panel. You could also, turn this 90 degrees and then have the outsides have this sort of border edge, which is would work really nicely as well. Or you could just turn the second page so that there's the border is at the top or the bottom. Just mix it up however it looks good with you, but play with it, have fun with them. Okay, now for the fun part, we get to embellish. So I've got some titles, forever and ever and ever. There's not like large title pieces. There's the Be Mine, your traditional. There's Cute. Love Birds, Love You and Me. There's also this Love, Lovely. So sweet. And then I need to get some journaling on here too. So I kind of want to be mindful of that as I'm selecting my embellishments. It's kind of big. These are all kind of big. I could trim this down. I don't know. I might just use my write-on stickers again for to journal, like that there. Maybe I'll put I love the butterfly and the flowers, so just like that. I don't know. Great idea. Maybe something like that. And then I've got these enamel stickers as well. So I think I can use those to kind of supplement the embellishments. And I think I want to probably use, I like the idea of using some of the foam tape on this butterfly, because sort of feeling like I want to emphasize the butterfly, because to me that's kind of the statement embellishment in this pack, to me anyway. Okay. I'll do something like that. Kind of tilt that to one side. And put that down. I'm gonna wait to stick that down until I'm 100% sure where I'm gonna put that, because the foam tape, once it's down, it's pretty much down. And I don't like to have to reposition things because it's a pretty strong adhesive. I'm also going to pop these flowers up. Let's go the other direction. Like that. All right, so move that to right there, edge of the phrase. And then I'll put some notes here. So that I'm good with where that is. Where all right. And then I'm going to go ahead and do my journal. And instead of doing a big journal box up here, I think I'm just going to put a couple of things down here. Just a little notes about the items in the photos. So, and actually I should write on this first to make sure it's the right size. So so put that there. And I'm just going to cut these to size. This photo here is of raspberry scones. I make these heart-shaped raspberry scones every year for Valentine's Day. I know, Samantha, you have your tradition of doing chocolate dipped fruit. So it's fun to have those little things that you do each year that people look forward to. Of course, this was the first year that my husband Ian had the raspberry scones, and he's English, and so making scones for an Englishman was a little bit intimidating because, the American version of anything sweet is often far different than the original interpretation of it. So I was, kind of nervous about making them for him, but he loved them. He did say that they were more like a biscuit than a proper English scone, but he said they were pretty. He enjoyed them. He had many of them, so I know he did like them. They just might not have been what he would call a scone. But they're fun. They're heart shaped, and then they've got raspberry jam on the inside. They're really delicious, actually. A little bit of icing on them with coffee. Okay, and then I guess make it to another little journal box here. In this picture, the cat is very involved in the Valentine gift. He loves bags. I mean, I think a lot of it's not terribly uncommon. A lot of cats like bags, but this cat, I think he waits for me to come home to see if I've been to the grocery store so he can he loves plastic bags, loves them. Okay, so page 2, done. I think we're in record time at 7:15. So this one we also did in about a half an hour. So each of these one-page layouts have been taking about 30 to 40 minutes, I would say. So I'm going to tidy up here. Well, if you're still working on yours, please finish at your own pace. But I'm going to go ahead and tidy up a little bit of my workstation so we can get ready for the next layout. I'd love to know what pictures you guys are working on. What are you scrapbooking? And are you doing February of 2025 or are you doing something far different? I know, Samantha, you probably are working on your daughter's childhood album or pages that you have been so focused and dedicated working on. Anybody else hate these little Mylar bags with the little sticky strip on them? It's so hard to get stuff back in them once you take it out, but there, I think I did it. And I still have lots of this collection to make some more pages. And I think it definitely can be used for things other than specifically Valentine's Day. This black stripe and the florals and this red that I haven't even used yet at all will go with a lot of things. So Samantha, you'd like this collection. It's got a lot of pink in it. Pink hearts, pink. This one is really pretty. Those flowers, I know they look kind of gray on that, but they're pink. So lots of that left. That didn't use a whole lot of paper, that particular spread. What kind of snacks are you guys working on? Did you eat dinner first and not super hungry to snack? I managed to get my regular scrapbooking snacks this time. I was planning ahead. And went to the store where I knew they had hot tamales. That's my go-to scrapbooking treat. I also got some Diet Dr. Pepper, but I'm on the fence about whether or not I'll have that or maybe a cup of tea. 'Cause I feel like this congestion I have is hopefully not a sign that I'm caught a little bug of some sort, but I think maybe tea will just kind of clear me out a little bit. You got vaccine early, organizing all your older map packs and journaling boxes. Yeah, that's that feels so good to get organized, and I will give you guys a bit of a tour when we're done. I have done some reorganization in my scrapbook room too. So I have some new shelf organizers and bins on my shelf, and I mean so new actually that I haven't taken the store labels um off of the bins because I'm still kind of figuring out exactly where I'm gonna put everything, and I, in case I wanted to take something back, I've left the labels, the Container Store labels on the bins, but I think I'm pretty set. Okay. All right, I am gonna just take a couple minute break and refill my water, and I will be back. It is 7:20 Mountain Standard Time. I'm going to say I'll be back at 7:25. All right. Yeah, it's very pretty paper, Samantha. I actually like it a lot more than I was really anticipating. So back at 7:25 MST. All right, guys, give me 5. I'll be back shortly. Yeah, keeping it simple. I don't know. I got the shingles vaccine last year, and it's a 2-shot vaccine. And yes, the first round of it, um, I I got it on a long weekend. I actually got it Thanksgiving weekend. I got it the Wednesday before. Is that right? The Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and I uh was in bed for 3 days just because I had no energy. All right, guys, be back soon. Um, yeah, it was. Did you guys? Yeah, they are, but I'm not gonna eat them because I'm later. I'm my dinner. See you later. Yeah, shingles. Yeah, that was terrible vaccine. All right, I am back and it's 7:25. So good timing on my part. My tea is still brewing, but I have it on good authority that somebody's gonna bring it to me. So I am I'm ready to get started. Okay, so sketch number 3, guys. This one is a 2-pager. It's got 2 vertical photos on one side and 4 mix on the other side. I kind of had a hard time finding photos for this, but I think I found something that's going to work. I'm actually really excited because I am using some paper that I've been wanting to use for a long time, and I think I finally found just the right photos and layout to do this with. This is a pretty straightforward layout. It's got 2 base pages and then a series of strips that kind of create a U-shaped frame around. And then you've got some kind of fun things happening in these corners with these overlays. I thought it would be fun to overlap these so that it looks like a weave on the corners rather than just a straight overlay. So let's get started and take a look. So the photos I'm going to be using are of my amaryllis, and it still has one blossom on it that isn't done yet. So I'm saving a spot for the final photo. I'm using this beautiful Hanayagi paper. This is a paper pack that I've had probably for 3 years or so. It was a promo paper pack, and it came from CM Japan. And it is just absolutely stunning. And I've used quite a bit of it, but I have some left that I've been really wanting to use. And I think these colors are great. It's got this kind of red and there's this neutral on this side and the blue, and then this is the one I've been wanting to use, and it's super busy, which I think is, part of the challenge in using it, is that this pattern is just, there's a lot going on there in that pattern, but I think it's really, really beautiful. So I just want to see how I can make this work. And of course, the flowers that I've got on here, they're not exactly amaryllis in this photo, but I think it's gonna work. I think it's gonna work really nice. Thank you, Samantha. Yeah, it's been a real joy. I got it as a gift for Christmas, and every day it changes. So it's been really fun to watch it grow. And then I have these botanical burst embellishments. Again, these are going back a while, 2021. So I've been hanging on to these embellishments in this paper a long time. I am ready to use it up. So let's see what we can do here. I'm gonna set those embellishments aside. So my plan is that I'm gonna use this very busy but beautiful side. And this paper, believe it or not, is directional. The way these flowers go, I personally feel like it's got a direction to it. So I think I'm going to use these papers as the base like that. I know it's taking a little bit of a risk because there's just so much happening there, but I think it's really pretty. And then you know, this blue print, and on my camera, I know doesn't really show it. This is like a robin's egg blue that looks more gray or brown there, but it matches these leaves and the centers of these flowers perfectly. So that's going to be one of the strips, and then this sort of dusty rose. Again, I know it's kind of washed out on there, but it matches perfectly, and that's going to be the other strip. So this is a really easy page. These strips are 1 by 12, and you need 4 of each of them. So this is super easy. I'm just gonna cut 4 1-inch strips out of each of these papers. You could use a decorative blade to kind of mix things up a little bit if you wanted to use a wavy blade or a decal blade, or even that pinking one would be pretty, depending on, you know, what you've got going. I think a decorative edge would be lost on this paper. And then each of these are gonna have some a fairly nice piece left over. It's gonna have an 8 by 12 inch piece left over. So I'll be able to use these papers for mats as well. Well, Samantha, I'll tell you that when I got the shingles, the second dose of the shingles vaccine, it didn't bother me nearly as bad. I mean, fractionally, hardly noticeable actually. So hopefully you will do better as well. Okay, so these guys go like this and like this, and I just need to decide which ones I want on the outside and which ones I want on the inside. I really like the idea of doing a bit of a basket weave on these corners. It just adds some interest, I think. I'm gonna move these down. I think, again, this is very matter of personal preference. I think I'm probably gonna do these strips about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom and 1/4 of an inch from the left-hand side, and then probably about maybe that same distance apart, 1/4 of an inch apart. And that makes it really easy to line up on my mat too. I'm going to use repositional tape on these so that I can get them together, get them laid down kind of exactly the way that I want to do that. But I think that looks pretty good. Thank you, Roxana. I love it too. I'm just going to set these out over here so that I've got them the right way. Actually, I'm going to swap these around just to see if I have a preference between the blue being on the inside or the outside. You know, I think I do actually. I think I like the blue being on the outside. I just think that it shows off more of the contrast. I think it's probably 6 1/2 dozen in the other, but I like the blue on the outside a little bit better. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and start adhering these, and like I said, I'm not gonna use my repositional because I want to probably gonna have to make some adjustments when I do the weaving in the corners, just so that I can lift my pieces up without having that it being too much. And And this is one where, depending on how much fiddling you're doing with your pieces, you might want to adhere the base page down to your mat so that it doesn't move around. There's a few ways to do that. You can use the repositional tape. You could use just a little strip of washi tape and stick that on the top like that. It's up to you. Or you can just muscle it in place like I just did. Get my okay. So even though this is a very basic, simple layout, it does kind of take a little. And, I obviously it was my choice to do this little weave thing. It would be a lot faster if you didn't, but I really like the look of that. I think that's super pretty. And I like the idea of even putting a embellishment in this in this corner. So we'll see how that looks. And then I'm actually gonna move this over here just so that it's right in my kind of my front and center here. My tea arrived. It's probably, what's the temperature, boiling temperature? Isn't it like 200 degrees or something like that? I think I would know 200 degrees Celsius. 100 degrees Celsius makes more sense. It's been a long time since I took science for those kinds of things. My point being is that, yeah, Samantha, I noticed that when you were cropping at my house the other day that you had those photo corners in there, and I meant to tell you what a great idea I thought that was. So that's brilliant. It's one of those things I would call like just a really clever hack because, it's kind of like duh, but I didn't think of it. So, yeah, I noticed that. That's really great. All right, and then this last one. Thank you, Samantha. 212 degrees Fahrenheit. I thought it was something like that. And is it 100 degrees Celsius? I have to make an adjustment to this piece because it's not straight. Probably tell that on the camera. Yes, 100 degrees Celsius. See, I did remember something from school. Okay. I just love that. It's like really basic, but how pretty is that? So pretty. Some more tape down. Okay, so now then let's talk photos. I have more photos than I have space. So what I was gonna do was for some of these ones that um, on the right-hand side, there's two, three, 5.5 by 3.5. And I actually think I'm gonna split that in half. Oh, and so I need to do some math here, scrapbooker's math. Half of 5.5 is 2 and 5/8. Is that right? And half of 3.5 would be 3/4. I guess it'd be 2 and 3/4, I think. 1 3/4 by 2 and 3/4. It is very different. It's super busy, isn't it? I think when we get the photos on it, the photos are going to cover up a lot of the busyness. So those just kind of have like little design elements peeking out of it. That's my hope. Okay, so I gotta remember what I was gonna do with these pictures. So I think I was gonna put this one over here and this one as the main one. So I don't get confused which page is which. And then I've got that. That's the one I'm going to save. And so then these are the ones I was going to cut down. Let's see. This is when it's 4. Okay. Yeah. So these two, and then I'm saving a spot for that. All right. So I'm going to trim this down. This is a 3.5 by 5.5. So the progression of these photos is really just to sort of show the story of how it went from, being just a bulb in the ground with just a couple, like in this picture, you can barely see it was just sticking out of its little pot, and then, going to getting that big and having a bud on it, blooming, first 2, then 4. And then I got a second shoot. Let's see if I can find, yeah. So this is the second shoot coming up on it. It's just so pretty. And it just is starting to bloom now. So this, I'm gonna cut this down to 3.5. This photo is super cool. There's a setting on my phone that I sort of accidentally discovered, and you know what? I can't remember it. I want to say maybe it's called Spotlight, maybe. But if you have an iPhone, that's kind of a fun thing to fool around with. Is that the right size? I did. Okay, 3.5, 3.5. All right, so then this is going to be 2 and 3/4, and 2 and 3/4 is 5.5. So let's see. 2 and 3/4 by 3.5. First. Oh, worse. Slightly screwed that up. I'll fix it. I'll fix it somehow. I'll put a sticker or something on it. I could also always print out another one since I did a home print on these. So even though this right-hand page shows 4 photos, I'm actually going to be getting 6 on it. Slide off first. There. That works pretty well. So let's talk about maps, see what my options are here. Now, I could just go with a solid cardstock on these, I think. Just think that looks really nice against the black and against that one. I think maybe this one, because it is so light, maybe the blue would look a little bit better on that. Looking at the sketch, this one says this is a big mat of 4.5. Probably do actually a double mat would be really pretty with that. So this is 8. Double mat. 6.5. I think I'm going to cut this down 1/4 of an inch on each side so that my mat, just to give myself a little bit more room to mat. And also then my mat sizes, I can make the most of my paper that I have left as well. So, So I talked about how I like to mat. I also have been doing a bit of double matting tonight. I kind of go in fits and spurts with that. Like I don't do a lot of double matting, but sometimes I do think, you know, that it warrants it a little bit. And in this case, I do really like this photo, just looks really nice. With a little extra. Just make it a little extra. As if this background paper wasn't extra enough. Let's add some extra matte, but I think that looks nice. And then these guys, let's see here. So let's see, this is 5 and this is 5 3/4. So this actually will make a mat for one of those really nicely, perfectly, and then this is just be 3 3/4. That worked out perfectly. So that can mat one of these. Three. Oh, that'll be perfect too. I can do that. I'm gonna cut 2. Oops. I had to cut that 3 3/4. 3/4 and 3 3/4. Thankfully, I had enough to make it work. So I've got 2 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 mats for my 3.5-inch photos. So go there. And this one is for the photo that has not yet been taken. And then I'll put another one of these that's 3, 5 and 3/4. Should be the same size. Yeah. All right. Plenty of matting, plenty of pieces left, and I may actually make a mat for this guy with what I have left. Great choices with busy people. Oh, thank you, Samantha. I think yeah, I think it works. This is I'll be honest, this is not necessarily my go-to thing. I don't always do a lot of flower. I like flowers, but I don't use a lot of flat floral elements in my scrapbooking usually. So this is definitely a change of pace for me, no doubt. I'm embracing the busy and the florals. Maybe just a little, I'm just kind of ready for spring. I don't know about you guys. This paper makes me think of cherry blossoms, and you know, I lived in the Maryland, Washington, D.C. area for a long time, which of course we have are world renowned for the cherry blossoms there. So it's kind of, I was just telling a friend, somebody was telling me they were going to Maryland in a couple of weeks. I'm like, oh, probably get to see the start of the cherry blossom bloom. I'm kind of jealous. I said, what can I bring you back? I said, crab cakes. They were like, what else? Yeah, well, something else. Okay, so just taking a quick look at how these are positioned. These kind of have a fun little overlap. I think I'm gonna need to do it like that to make sure that my photos are in there just right. This guy kind of comes down here, this guy's there, and then these sit here like this. Of course, I'm seeing a problem in that this is the same paper, and it blends in too much. So I think I'm gonna want this to use the blue on that corner. So I need a 3 3/4. And then I still have enough to make a mat for this other photo on my left-hand side. Oh, and that's already the right size. So that I'll put down there for the yet to be determined photo. Those line up on the outside and down like that. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So then this mat needs to be 3 3/4 by 5 3/4, and that works because this is already just 4 by 6. So 3 3/4, just double checking my measurements to make sure. It's like measure twice, cut once, 5 3. And again, all this matting is very optional. This is just Skye, scrap with Skye, mat-orama. I like to mat. I like to mat. And I realized that I'm going to have a Christmas picture in my February photos. And I have to tell you, it doesn't make me super comfortable. But I thought it was important for telling the story of this progression of photos. So it's happening. It is happening. And during this, I'm kind of thinking ahead a little bit to my embellishments. I have those paper flower embellishments, which come in lots of different varieties. They've got some metallic bits on them, which is, I think, makes them really pretty. So I'm kind of looking forward to using those. All right, this last mat should have this picture. You know, it's interesting. The first uh, blossom sprout stalk grew really quickly and it bloomed really quickly and it changed so much every day. The second one is a little bit slower. I think, the bulb has kind of maybe, it's maybe a little bit tired. Did a bit of a growth spurt and now it's just kind of clinging on. All right, embellishments. I don't have any stickers or titles for this, so I'm going to have to pull from my title jar somewhere. So this is going to be fun. Should get my little tray out here, I think. There's a lot of embellishments in here. So there's flowers and leaves, which is nice. And the flowers have a lot of different, there's a lot of options between them. So I think I'll have fun doing some layering here. And the same with the leaves. There's a lot of different options. And then there's also these, probably won't use these beads, but I could definitely use the the epoxy. And then the same with these, this color. This is called Elegant. I'm just gonna put them all together. That kind of makes my head hurt a little bit to mix these embellishments together, but I'll spend an hour picking them apart, separating them when it's all done. But I think I'll be glad I did it when I'm kind of going through here. So I want to build some embellishment clusters. I think, the way that the sketch shows it is that there's one down here, here, and here. This is not a triangle, which I struggle with a little bit. So I think I probably will move this one down to this little middle section here. The other thing you could do is move it down to this corner, which I might kind of play around with a little bit. So let's have some fun with embellishments. I think a good mix of lights and darks and some fun leaves is like that one a lot. The other thing you can do with these is layer the actual embellishments, the flowers themselves, like put that in the center, which I actually really like that. And this little pretty leaf tucked in between there. I don't know if I want that leaf or not. So let's see. Like that. Let's play around some more. Like this leaf. That leaf too. That's really pretty. I need some dark red in there though. I need a red leaf. Here's this red. That's super pretty. Just found some old packs of mats from 2003. That's awesome, Samantha. That is awesome. You definitely win the prize tonight. When in cleaning out my some of my stuff the last few days, I also have found a few things here and there, but I think that 2006 might have been the oldest stuff that I found. But it's there. It is there. Let's see. Trying to find the. Is there not a little white one? There it is. Be pretty like that. Leaf. Just behind it. And another one of these. Maybe like that leaf. This is so fun. I love doing these little embellishment clusters with these flowers. Like I said, I hardly ever. I definitely am gonna put it down in that corner. I just think it suits it a little bit better. Yeah, that's really fun. That is really fun. Now I can flip it over a little bit. Then I think what I'll probably do is make this guy a little bit bigger. I'll add, they say that your embellishment should be in groups of three, even or odd numbers. So starting with three. So 3, 5, 7, 7 sometimes could probably seem a little bit excessive. But I think I'm gonna do a 5 on this one for sure. Because I just feel like it needs some and I'll get maybe like the little guy on there. Something like that. I'm gonna turn it a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, I like that. Might stick some more leaves in here and there. These are fun. These are so fun. Some more leaves in, maybe tuck this in down here. All right, let's start adhering some things together. I'm going to start with this one down here. I think. Put that there. So I probably should be using repositional because I feel like I might be rearranging some things here. I'm just kind of layering and tucking things in here and there. I kind of like that. And I wonder how this would look. Could I put this kind of creating a little bit of a frame around that mat? I like that. Oh, and once you know, I used the wrong tape runner. Who does that? Uses regular tape runner when they're meant to use repositional, and then you have tape all over the place that you're not planning on. And then this, I'm gonna pull this out a little bit here. All right, there's embellishment cluster number 1. I think that looks really pretty. I think that looks really, really pretty. All right, this one. I'll build it off of this corner. Um, this. And maybe this red. Oh. You know, I feel like this is a rare case of more is more. You know, a lot of times I'm kind of a less is more when it comes to these type of embellishments, but I think really like the layers and the dimensionals that are adding on here and the different textures and you know also something that's going on here that is something that's not always my favorite is I'm combining silver and gold. So these red embellishments have a silver foil on them and the neutral ones have gold, and that's not often, dare I say, ever something that I really love. So it's but I think it works on this page really nicely. So I'm kind of thinking somewhat ahead at what my options are for a title. I have some laser titles that I can kind of take a look through. So I've taped all those down. I think that kind of works. The red sometimes gets a little bit lost. You know, it makes me wonder if I should use red here because it is offset. So I'll find another one of these red leaves here. Maybe use red here. Yeah, I think that works pretty well actually. And then I think I'm gonna switch that. I think I'll put that one up there just because it gets lost in the page a little bit. And here because it's got these other elements on it, it doesn't so much. Same thing with this one. Okay, so let's see what I have for titles that might work. Let's see. Good vibes. I like that one actually. Or awesome. Be nice if it said something like beauty or something like that, but I think and I think I do want white. Let's see if I can find the good vibes. Here we go. There's the awesome one. I could maybe use two of them. There's good vibes. This. Keep going. Hello. What? Superstar. I mean, this bulb kind of is a superstar with how much it's grown. All right. So maybe do two. Put like awesome there and good vibes there. That looks pretty good actually. Looks so female. Yeah, it does. It is very girly, isn't it, Roxana? Um, I know you have a mix. You have a daughter, but also two sons and three grandsons, right? Maybe four grandsons, three grandsons. And Samantha and I have girls. So there's no shortage of girl vibes going on. Ooh, that looks pretty good. So I definitely want to tell this story because four grandsons. Yeah. Because this bulb was given to me by my childhood best friend, and I was at her house last Christmas and was admiring hers. And so she remembered, and this is what she sent me for Christmas this year. And I was just like, like, why you have the people in your life that you do, like they just remember like the little details, and know you so well. And um it was a really nice, I was super excited when I got this in the mail. This is so beautiful. Okay, so on the sketch, the journaling is down here. And I think I actually am going to build a journal box with some of this scrap paper that I have. Maybe even put it, I don't really want to cover up that corner because I worked so hard to weave that paper. So I think maybe I'll just tuck this kind of into that embellishment corner and grab some paper so that I have it fits. That almost fits on there. They're the exact same size, so we'll just trim this down very slightly. You guys will be amused to know that off camera, I just dropped that whole tray of paper flowers. So that'll be super fun to clean up. I'm cutting this down 1/4 of an inch horizontally and vertically just to mat on that. One side has a little bit thinner. I think I'll go with the side that has more lines. I feel like I have a few things to say about this, so it'll be helpful. Okay. And then I think I probably will add just a little this corner. Something like that. That one gets lost, so it needs to be red. Just a cute little, something like that, to put that there. All right, so this is sketch number 3, pretty much wrapped up. Of course, I need to journal, but I can do that later. And I also need to add my last photo. But what do you think, guys? Not too bad. Not too bad. Take that down. This was a fun one. I actually really enjoyed doing this. The paper design itself was really simple, but the choices of papers and the embellishments really um, made it a fun page to work on. So, all right. I just need to tidy up. I'm not gonna clean up that big mess that is on the floor because that's gonna take way too long. I might even wait until tomorrow, to be quite honest. But I am just gonna tidy up my paper here, my scraps. So I've reached a transition point now. Now that all I have left is that size of straps, I'm gonna um, file these pieces with my scraps rather than, and I think I could make some really pretty borders actually with what I have left here. Really pretty. So I think I might have a little border project in store for myself. So anyway, that's those. Isn't that nice when you finish up a paper pack? You're like, yes, I can move this out from my regular paper storage to scraps. You know, one thing I didn't use were these little bits, and so you never know, maybe I'll go back and add some of those in there. All right, so final 2-page layout. This one has 3 photos on the left and 3 photos on the right. I think I'm going to do the same thing with this one as I did on the above one. I'm going to split this one and put 2 photos because I had just enough. I'm super excited. I'm going to use my my new gradient paper pack with these together with the Totally Tonal purple. I could use the gradient purples, but I have these really fun embellishments, and so I think I'll just go ahead and use those. So these photos are from the go live of scrapwithskye.com. My husband and I made a really big deal about it and took some pictures while we were at it. So gotta scrap all the things. All the things. All right, so I think, what was I gonna do here with this? I love this gradient purple. Maybe this. So my options are that stripe, and then there's another blue and purple one. It's this one. There's that one. And then the one on the very back. And this one has some green in it as well. So I've got those. I think I have 2 of anything. I have 2 of these, but that's not the one I want. I have 2 of these hearts. Also no stars. These are the white ones. I have 2 of these, which I like both of these quite a lot. And these little starbursts in the back are actually quite celebratory. They look a little bit like fireworks. So that might be kind of a fun background. And then I could do this vertical stripe. this middle bit. And maybe what is that, 4.5? Doing some scrapbooker math here. I'm thinking I could do this gradient. Also do this star, which is also exciting. Maybe I'll do that. Use the star. Okay, so I'm going to use the star for the border strips on the bottom. I'm going to use the white, the stripe for this bit. And then for this background, I'm not 100% sure yet, but I'm going to go ahead and get started, and I think it'll come together. Okay, so these are my base pages. I'm just going to leave those the way they are. This middle strip here is 5 inches wide. I'm gonna go ahead and cut that out. And then that border is 2 inches wide. That aside, I'm going to cut this way so that if I can look and see which direction I want, or which side of the paper I want to use. Okay. So the way this is going to lay out is these two is the background. These go with this, and then this goes here. And I'm wondering what we think about could probably put them like that. Do we like the gradient or the stars? Honestly, I could kind of go either way, but I think I'm liking the stars. Okay. Let's do that. And then I need to decide on a piece that's mats these photos down here on the bottom. So I feel like maybe something blue, to be super honest. There's this one too. Put that one out. I don't think I thought that. That actually would have been really pretty. It's the gradient. Can I get this? 11 by 5. I don't think so. This is 8. Use that. Okay. Well, that I can't quite let this go. I feel like that would have been really, really pretty. I have another option here. This is what happens when you do stuff late at night. You get a little dopey. Well, maybe I'll just use this as the, I'll use this one. That works. That works. So these are 5 inches wide. can call me. No, I'm not seeing a call, Roxana. Okay. So that needs to be 11. Okay. Trying to decide which part of the paper to leave on here. This is 4.5. Yeah, I'll do it that way. So, mm, okay. All right, so I have all of my pieces. I'm gonna put these strips down first. It looks like I'm just eyeballing it. I'm gonna say it's about an inch above from the bottom. An inch from the bottom. I'm gonna go ahead and put this down. Just right flush with the right hand edge of this paper. Goes over it a little bit. Let's put it at that stripe. And inch up from the bottom. Yeah. And I'm just gonna line this up with the same stripe as I did on this page, which is this one right there. Okay. I think that looks pretty nice. And then maybe I'll use this star as a mat again. So this mat is 7 by 5. Oh, I want the stripes to go this way, so that's why I'm cutting it like that. It's centered on that strip, so about okay, so now I can start putting my kind of figuring out where my photos are gonna go here. So I think that one's gonna go over there. Gotta remember how I was gonna put these. Maybe this one. It's very repetitive. Probably could have done this in one page, but I did have a lot of photos for this. I think I'll do that goes there, that, yeah, okay. Now these, I am not gonna need to do extra matting. I won't be tempted to do extra matting. Because they already have the way the paper is laid, it's already got a matte look to it. So I'm not gonna feel compelled to do a lot of extra matting on this one. So this photo is 4x4. There. This is also 4x4. This one is 4x6. This is a 4x4. Photo sizes, and like I said, the way the paper is layered on here, it's essentially creating a matted look. So in here, you could do a variety of things with these photos. I could have just made 3, say, total photo space is 10 inches. So I could have done like 3.5 by 4 inches wide photos. All right, these guys, this one. I know I said I wasn't gonna mat, but I actually am tempted to do this one. Just to set it off a little bit. I think it kind of leads into it, so just gonna, and look what I'm using. I'm using the back of this, the bright white cardstock. It works great. So I'm just gonna do a quick 4.5 by 6.5 inch mat. don't know what I said there. I meant 4¼ by 6¼ I think I might have said something different, but maybe not. Just kinda eyeball that. Okay, let's do that. Let's do this right. I'm just centering these on here so that they get about equidistant apart, spread out over the bottom of that. So that looks right. I actually really like the way that this turned out with this gradient paper here. I think it was a good choice. It wasn't exactly what I was thinking I was going to do in the beginning, but I like the way that it turned out. All right, so my photos are on. Now it's just a matter of doing some embellishments. And again, there's this nice triangle here, so I do something similar to that. There's room for some journal box over here. I do have, I'm gonna grab my tone journal boxes. I should have some purple ones that would feel nice in there. It's kind of a blue purple periwinkle, but I think that one matches perfectly. And so does that one. This one I actually like a little bit better because it gives it some contrast. So I'll use that. This journal box mat is going to be available on Monday as a special spring cleaning promotion. So all of those things. So bring some things back, some promo items back, and other stuff. So that's going to be my journal box. And then I've got these fun, this is totally tonal stickers. So a lot of them are, perfect kind of thematically. So let's see if I can find a nice big one. Do some layering here. I would have liked to have. So maybe I'll do this celebrate and layer that with this here. I'll go ahead and put that on there, so it's there when I need it. And then I'm gonna kind of embellish around that. I'm just trying to make these embellishments, like an embellishment cluster. So I think I'll do something like that. Like that with one of these circles behind it. It doesn't have enough contrast color. There, this one will. Something like that. That looks good. And need something down here. Yay. Star. This I can use this lighter circle with, or maybe even one of these. Nice. Put that there. And then I've got, let's need to do another one over here. Kind of want to repeat the shapes a little bit. I've got circles, but also tags. Let's see. Like that. I like one of these little banners. That down here, and I'm still going to do something bigger up here. Joy. So happy, joy, not sure which. I am gonna be, yes, Samantha, I will follow up with you on that. I will be doing an order on Monday, and I'll send you what your options are. You may already know. One of those things was these mats, actually, which I've been using them a lot. They're really, really handy. So I think this is gonna be my, do I love that? Not sure that I love that banner. Too much the same color. I'm all over the place here. Maybe this darker. Swap out this part a lighter one. I feel like I should pop this up a little bit too, so use my little all right. All right. That looks pretty good. And then I just need to do my journaling there. I think I'll probably end up, that's a lot of white space there. So once I get it filled in with writing, it might not be so much, but I might add a little bit more of an embellishment there, like just maybe one of these little stars or hearts or something like that, just to kind of fill in the space. So, all right, that's sketch number 4 completed. And I have February of 2025 scrapbooked in the books, guys, which is awesome. So I'm just gonna go ahead and switch back to my desktop camera, my face camera. All right, so thanks for joining me tonight. I hope you feel like you got some pages done, some work done. I'm gonna take some photos of my finished layouts and put them in the comments. And I'd love to see what you worked on tonight as well, even if it wasn't the sketches that we were working on, your organizational efforts, your other pages. Would love to see it. So thanks so much for joining me tonight. And I'll be back here again on March 31st. I think there's 31 days in March for our catch-up crop for March. All right. I have a few other things going on between now and then, so I will see you then. Happy scrapping. Thanks, guys.